Hello and welcome to another edition of Currently in Quincy. I'm Joe Catalano. Today, photographer Wendy Adams will be joining us to talk about the second annual Pooch Playoffs fundraiser for the Quincy Animal Shelter that's currently underway. First, though, we take a look at the weather and the news for you. Currently in Quincy, the big story, of course, is the wind. There's a high wind advisory in effect. There's actually a gale warning up offshore with winds gusting 40 miles per hour plus out of the west. Mix of sun and clouds and highs only in the low 40s. That wind making it feel colder than that. Down to the lower 30s. The wind will die off a little bit tonight, but it'll be back for tomorrow. Kind of a repeat performance tomorrow. Sun and clouds, still windy. Highs in the low 40s. Much nicer on Sunday with a lot of sunshine, less wind, and highs in the mid-40s. And then really nice on Monday, partly sunny and milder with highs Monday into the low 50s. And actually most of next week looks very nice. But again, we have 40 degrees with sun and wind in Quincy right now. Checking out the news for you today, Quincy property owners, you will want to check to see if your properties have been removed from the newly updated FEMA flood zone. During a presentation to the City Council earlier this week, engineer Joe Shea with Granite City Partners told officials that due to the city's efforts to mitigate flooding, FEMA has agreed to remove many areas from the flood zone.
300 more of our residents who are obligated to pay flood insurance if they have a mortgage no longer need to buy that flood insurance policy. They may choose to. If you do not live in the floodplain, but you choose to have a flood insurance policy, you certainly may buy that flood insurance policy. It is significantly cheaper than if you live in the floodplain. But we often hear from people saying, I can't buy flood insurance, I don't live in the floodplain. That is not correct. Some people may choose to buy flood insurance because they wish to protect their houses. It'll be significantly cheaper if they're out of the floodplain.
Shea says FEMA has already approved these new flood district maps. Now the city must adopt a change to the flood zone for the new maps to take effect. Shea says that after July 8th, any properties that were removed from the flood zone may cancel their flood insurance. Those updated maps will be posted on the city's website under the GIS Property Viewer. Now, the former Wollaston Congregational Church in Quincy is selling off many of its church items tomorrow as the city prepares to transform it into a community center. Items will include some brass offering plates, communion trays, hymnals, books, china, crystal, silver plate, furniture, including some pews, music stands, and some office equipment and supplies. Quincy Mayor Thomas Koch says that 1926 building will need some work before it can be used for the community.
My team is meeting, doing the assessments on the building, what needs to be done immediately. The heating system's not in great shape, for example.
I see.
There's some leaks that have to be taken care of in the building. There's some basics like that. And then long term with our team, okay, how are we going to best use it for the community and what type of uses? What does that mean for ADA? What does that mean for public access? And what kind of improvements do we need to do the building to accommodate those types of programs? So a little bit of work ahead, but it should be a nice building. It's a handsome building. Mm-hmm. I think it's English Gothic, but it'll be nice to have for the community in the future.
City purchased the building for $1.1 million after the church held its last service in December. Tomorrow's sale will be from 9 to noon in the church sanctuary. Quincy City Council asking the state's federal delegation to support keeping the interest earned on municipal bonds tax-free. The City Council this week unanimously passed a resolution offered by Council President Ian Kane imploring Congress to renew the federal tax-exempt status for municipal bonds. Kane says every community that raises money by selling bonds would be impacted if they are subject to tax.
As you know, cities and towns across the country, including Quincy, that's their primary mechanism for raising capital in order to do projects like the FEMA work, like infrastructure roadway work, like the school buildings work. That's how we raise money in order to do big projects like that. And what the tax exempt status allows is so basically any investor, which are mostly institutional investors, do not have to pay tax on the interest on those bonds. And so if those bonds all of a sudden needed to be taxed, our cost of capital, which is driven down because it's tax exempt, and so the costs are not paid forward, would probably double.
Kane says municipal bonds are also exempt from state taxes. A Boston man facing gun and drug charges after fleeing from Quincy police and crashing into 5 cars last month. 27-year-old Emmanuel Andrade faces charges in connection with the incident at the CVS on the Southern Artery. That's where police tried to stop him for questioning. Andrade struck a parked car, a Brinks truck, then fled down Southern Artery, hitting 3 more vehicles before fleeing on foot on Main Street in Quincy Point. Detectives apprehended Andrade this past Tuesday morning on Pond Street. He was arrested without incident and arraigned in Quincy District Court. Police say Andrade tossed a loaded gun from the vehicle during that chase, and that officers found crack cocaine in his vehicle. About 200 people braved the icy waters of Boston Harbor on one of the coldest days of the year last Sunday to raise money for Save the Harbor, Save the Bay's 15th annual Shamrock Splash. Participants at Constitution Beach in East Boston competed for prizes in the Best Costumed Character category, or simply just to raise money for summer events on state-run beaches from Nahant to Nantasket, including Wollaston Beach here in Quincy. The fundraiser took in a total of $56,000. That'll be put toward the total of over $300,000 for the Better Beaches program. The Friends of Wollaston Beach raised almost $6,600 during the splash. The Friends sponsor programs on Wollaston Beach that include a popular kids fest, a kite festival, beach volleyball, and a children's reading program. It's our check of news for you today. Coming up, the Pooch Playoffs fundraiser is back for the Quincy Animal Shelter this year. We'll get the details from Wendy Adams next. Welcome back. The Pooch Playoffs fundraiser is back this year to benefit the Quincy Animal Shelter. Photographer Wendy Adams is here with us again after putting it together last year for the very first time. And Wendy, I don't know if you heard that I called it the annual now. So now you're committed.
I'm totally committed.
You have to do it every year.
I have to do it every year.
Just because I said.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
Good, good. Thanks for coming over.
Thanks for having us again.
Yeah, this is a lot of fun. It's something different. You know, we always, of course, we think of the brackets for basketball, right?
Yes.
This time of year. Well, you kind of stole that idea and applied it to the Quincy Animal Shelter, right?
Absolutely, yeah. It's so fun.
So before we talk about that, tell me a little bit about yourself.
So I'm born and raised in Quincy. Quincy Public Schools, graduated from North Quincy High. Kind of born obsessed with photography. I don't know why. I
Really?
just always have been, yeah. And I could not wait to get to North and take photography class. So I did for all 3 years there. And then I went on to go to college and got my bachelor's degree in photography. And just pretty much have maintained my obsession through all these years.
Wow. So, I mean, it is an art form, but there's science to it too, right?
Yeah, definitely. And one good thing about it is that as technology changes, it constantly changes. So it's always learning. You're always learning new things and finding new things.
Yeah. So where did you go to college to get a degree in photography?
I went to the Art Institute of Boston.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, right in Boston.
Yeah.
I stayed at home in Quincy and commuted.
Yeah.
And they're now part of Lesley University.
Sure.
Yeah, so they're no longer there. It was a beautiful, small school. And I loved it.
So you've been able to make a profession out of it. Is that hard to do?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do landscape work as well as portrait
you do?
work.
Okay.
And I love to travel. I'm kind of addicted to travel. So ideally, I would love to just travel the world taking beautiful pictures.
Okay.
You know, but it's hard to sell landscape work. And I actually majored in studio work when I was in college anyways. I enjoy working in the studio. I love working with people and obviously pets. And I love the challenge of capturing them in a portrait. Freezing time.
Okay, all right. So how did the idea first come to you last year about the Pooch portrait playoff.
I know. I can't take credit for the idea.
Oh.
It's such a fabulous one, but
Yeah.
I had joined a business group, and they had been doing it for about 4 years prior.
Oh, really?
So I just jumped in, followed their example, and ran it just like they did, and it was a great success, and it was also great fun.
Oh, what's the group? What's the business group?
It's called the Photography Business Institute.
Okay.
And in college, I don't know if it's different now, but back in the day, it was all about art. You didn't learn anything about business and running a business. So they focus on not the art of the photography, but the business side
Oh, I
of
see.
photography.
Okay, gotcha.
And I had a lot to learn.
Right,
So
right. More than making pretty pictures, right?
Right,
Well,
yeah.
to make it a viable
Exactly.
way to make a living. Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's not just a hobby, you know.
No,
Know
not
how
for
to-
me.
know how to make it a business. Yeah,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
exactly. So what were they doing to raise funds for animal shelters?
yeah, very, very similar
Oh,
to what
was?
I'm doing.
Okay.
Yeah, they would get contestants. Some of them do double brackets and go up to 32 dogs.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sticking with the 16, at least for now, unless in the future, as I do it annually,
Yeah.
it becomes wildly popular.
Right.
Then I could add 32.
There you go.
Yeah, but we all run it basically the same way. We get our contestants to come in, we photograph them, and that in itself is a blast.
I bet.
And then we have them choose the image that will be in the contest, and eventually all goes online. Voting is free and open to the public.
Okay.
So I would love for everyone to go online and vote. And it's stressful.
Really?
I was surprised last year at how stressed I was, especially the first round, because you immediately eliminate half.
Oh.
So
Was that-
half were
that's the
gone.
stressful part, eliminating
That was
them? Oh, okay.
watching them get eliminated.
Okay.
I couldn't sleep the night before the first vote.
Is that right?
I was so nervous, and
Wow,
it was just
okay.
sad to see half go right away. But
Okay.
it's how the game is played, right?
Yeah.
And then it goes down to 8, and then from there 4 and 2. And then we get our winner.
Oh, all right. So how did it go last year?
Last year was great. I've been giving the contestants a heads up that you really kind of have to campaign for your dog
Okay.
or cat.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh.
get all your friends involved
Okay.
in voting, and it's a popularity contest. That's
Yeah.
what it comes down to.
Okay.
Yeah.
How did you do for the shelter, for the animal shelter?
Last year we raised close to $3,700.
Oh, that's super. Yeah.
Yeah, so I was really impressed.
First time out, right?
Our first round, and we did so good. So I'm hoping to come close to that again this year.
All right.
And we'll see. We're
Okay.
still looking for several more dogs. So if anyone out there is interested, contact me.
Okay. Oh, so it's already started.
It's already started.
Okay.
We've done some of the sessions. We have a few coming up this coming weekend.
Okay.
And then I'll probably add some next weekend too, just if we get some more dogs in.
Okay. So do they come to you? Do you go to them? How does it work?
We're doing it at one of our sponsors is Leader of the Pack Dog Training, and they're located right on Billings Road in Quincy.
Okay.
And they were generous and donated the space.
Nice.
So we're doing all the photography there.
Okay.
It's a great because it's not at the busy end of Billings Road. It's
okay.
at the other end, so it's easy parking.
Great.
It's a nice neighborhood, and it's quiet.
Okay. Who can compete?
Anyone.
Anyone?
Yeah, and we're welcoming cats this year too.
That's brave.
Yeah, I know. Cats are even a bigger challenge than dogs, but I love them. I'm a cat lover too.
Okay.
So and I'm up for the challenge.
Really?
And yeah, and
Okay.
even if it seems like last year we had a few dogs that were kind of like ping pong balls, they were kind of just all over the place.
Yeah.
And then the families are so impressed when they see the images that I capture because
Yeah.
they can't see it happening at the time.
Right, right. Well, speaking of, you brought a couple of examples
Yes.
of images that you've
Yeah.
captured in the past. So who do we have here?
This is
Hold him up there a little higher.
Chewbacca.
There
Can
we
you
go.
see him?
Yeah, good,
He
good.
is on a
Chewbacca.
metal print. Yeah, Chewy. He's a Quincy resident
Okay.
and was a wonderful contestant last year. The big dogs seem to be, to me, the easiest.
Is that right?
Yeah, because they're pretty mellow. He
Ah.
just sat there, and we moved him around a little bit for
Yep.
different poses, and he was fabulous. Look at him. I actually photographed his whole family with him too,
Oh,
as well. And that's
okay.
something to note is that I always encourage people to get in the images as well. Obviously, those aren't used for the contest
Right,
because it's
yeah.
just. But while we're there. It's such a gift to have something with you and your animal loved one that's really a family member,
Sure.
and you'll have it forever.
Okay.
You
Is
know?
that a St. Bernard?
He's a St. Bernard,
okay.
and this is a metal print.
Oh, I see.
So it's made out of metal. They're great because they're really sturdy,
Yeah.
and if they get dirty, you just Windex and wipe them off.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Okay.
and they hang nicely.
Very nice. And then you have a glass example.
Yeah,
too.
this is
kinda
an
neat.
acrylic
Yeah.
block.
Yep.
And this is actually one of my dogs. This is
Oh,
Izzy.
Izzy.
Who's not in the contest,
Oh, okay, I was
but
gonna say,
she
yeah.
was a model for me, and
Okay.
my dogs are used to having their pictures taken. And I love these because they have such a nice look to them.
Yes.
They're very glossy and sleek and modern, and they look great propped up anywhere.
So
You
it's acrylic.
it's acrylic,
Okay.
yeah. And you just can plop it right on a tabletop or a desktop, and they
Okay.
look so nice.
Now, for folks who are participating in the Pooch playoffs, would you include something like this, or is it extra? or-
It's a little extra,
Okay,
so
okay.
people get the option to buy some of my artwork
Okay.
because I provide artwork.
Yep.
They get included, though, they get a free gift. And it's a choice between a magnet or a keychain,
Okay.
and they choose the image that goes
Oh, okay.
that goes in their gift,
Yeah.
and then they choose the image that goes in the contest as well.
Oh, they do? Oh, they choose?
They choose.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, I don't want that on me.
Ah, okay. All right.
It's hard enough. Let
So
them pick it.
it makes it more important to lobby for votes then.
Yes.
Okay, because that's the image you've chosen. so
Right, exactly.
You think that's the one that's going to win.
And they'll
yeah.
ask me for advice sometimes.
Yeah.
And I don't like to give it because you just never know. You
Right.
never know what's going to hit somebody like, I want to vote for that dog.
Right.
So I do tell them, try to choose something you think is going to stand out, make your dog stand out or cat a little bit. So
Yeah.
people will gravitate towards
Sure.
your dog.
Now, do they all get the same background? You know,
Pretty
to be
much.
fair?
There's
Yeah.
there's the two different ones you can
Yeah.
see here. This one has the purple. We do
Yeah,
a purple,
yeah.
and then this one has the blue.
Okay, all right.
And they can choose between them.
Yep.
And I do white too, so I photograph all of them on white. And the white is nice because I can change it in post, and
Okay.
I can make it all different kinds of colors.
So, but for Pooch playoffs, do they all get the same?
Not really,
they
no.
don't? Oh, okay.
No, some of them are blue, some are purple, some I change to make them a little colorful, but they're all just one color.
Okay.
Yeah, so they're all the same like that. All the work is done in studio.
Okay. How does one vote?
So to vote, when the voting starts, you'll start by visiting my webpage.
Yep.
And there's a landing page called Pooch Playoffs. So you just go to my page, click on the little icon that says Pooch Playoffs, and there'll be instructions there on how to vote, and then a link to click on to vote. All you need is to put in an email address.
Okay.
And there'll be 2 days of voting for each round. So you can vote once each day. So
Okay.
you can vote one day and come back the next day and vote again.
Okay. All right. Very good. When does the voting start?
I'm not positive
Oh, okay.
yet. I was aiming for March 18th,
Okay.
but because I'm hoping to get some more dogs in, I'm going to have to push it back a little bit.
Okay.
So it will be at some time in March. And if you follow my socials, it will be announced all over my socials. And Quincy Animal Shelter also has done a great job of promoting it, and they'll also announce when voting's going to start.
Okay. And then after the first round, you'll announce the finalists?
Yes,
Okay.
that's I announce the ones who are moving on.
Right.
So after the first round, there'll be 8 dogs that'll be
8
moving
left.
on.
Or maybe a cat.
Or cat,
two.
yes. Yes,
Okay.
we do have one cat enrolled right now.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've already photographed him, and he is gorgeous.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so, and we're just hoping to get some more. I would love to get some more cats
You'll
in.
have to change the name then.
I know.
Okay.
I know, maybe in the
Could be
future.
pet playoffs
yeah.
maybe or something.
It could be pet playoffs.
Okay.
I could do some lizards and stuff. Too. I would love that.
Who knows what you'd get at that point, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the second round?
The second round will be the same.
Okay.
It'll be 8, and then it will go down to 4, and I'll announce the 4 that are moving on.
Yep.
And then people can just go right to the webpage and vote again.
Vote again.
Same thing, 2 days of voting.
Okay.
So there's 2 times to vote, and so on. And it will go lower and lower and lower
Right.
until we have our grand prize winner.
Okay, so there'll be just 2 winners at the end?
There'll be one winner.
One
at the
winner
end.
at the end.
Yes,
Okay.
but we have prizes for first, second, and third place winners.
Okay.
We also have amazing swag bags. Prizes and swag bags have all been donated by local businesses. So the swag bag is amazing,
Yeah.
and everyone gets a swag bag, every participant. And the winners will be gift baskets from various businesses.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, well, it sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun again
Yeah.
this year for sure.
Yeah.
Now, moving forward, once the winners are announced,
Mm-hmm.
what do they get? Do they get like a plaque in the shelter, or
They don't get a plaque in the shelter, but I do have a little trophy that I make
a
up.
trophy? Okay.
Yeah, and last year's winner was a Dotson.
Really?
Yeah, oh my gosh, he's beautiful.
Okay.
And I made like a trophy about this big,
Yeah.
and it's the image. It's from his
Oh.
image, but it's an outline just of him. And then it says Pooch Playoffs Champion, and it has the date.
Very good.
Yeah, it's adorable.
So you said it's free to vote. It's
free to vote.
So how does this raise money for the shelter, Wendy?
When people sign up and enroll their animal, they pay a $150 sitting fee,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
and that fee goes directly to the shelter.
100%.
100%
Okay.
of that, and then anything left over from my sponsors also goes right to the shelter.
Okay, all right. So that's huge. They, as you know, are in the midst of moving to their new
Yes.
headquarters up on Quarry Street.
Yeah.
I think Sandra Sine said late March, early April. they're hoping.
Yeah. Hopefully it's coming soon.
Yeah.
So they've been preparing for it, and
Right.
it looks like it's going to be amazing. I've only seen some pictures. I haven't seen the actual shelter, but
Yeah.
it looks incredible, and they're going to have so much space.
Yeah, but there will be probably some moving costs,
Yeah.
associated with that. So this would be helpful, I'm sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And last year we did the sessions right at the shelter.
Okay.
But this year we wanted to get out of the way. Obviously, they have so much going on. So Leader of the Pack was kind enough to step in. And,
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
maybe
donate the space.
next year you can take them at the new shelter.
I know. That's what they said. They said maybe we could do it right here. So we'll see. We'll see what happens once they get that big move in.
Okay, and it is, it is important to note that the Quincy Animal Shelter is it's 100% volunteer run.
Yes.
They have a very, very small staff.
Yep.
So any donation goes right to the animal's care.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's
right.
important to note
They're
that
an
as well.
amazing. They're just incredible. I'm always so impressed by them.
So not only you're getting to combine two loves here, right? Photography and your love of animals. too,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I love all pets too.
Yes.
Not just
dogs
dogs
and cats?
Yeah. So yeah, I would love to do it. Anyone that has a pet, feel free.
I know you wanted to mention your sponsors.
Yes, we have several wonderful sponsors this year, different from last year. Leader of the Pack, I already mentioned.
Yep.
They did sponsor us last year too. North River Business Alliance, Coat Law Group, Superlative Printing, they handled all our printing for us, and SWR Remediation as well. So we
Okay.
have quite a few sponsors this year, and I'm so grateful for them.
Very nice. All right. So it's all on your website or the animal shelter's website.
Yeah, yep.
And there's deadline coming up, right?
Yeah. My last week to take the photos would be March 16th.
Okay.
So the deadline is coming up.
All right. So you want to be part of the competition? Get a hold of
Yeah,
you.
it's going to be so fun.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
It is a lot of fun.
You also have an exhibit coming up at the Q Arts Gallery.
Yeah, I'm
tell me
so
about that.
excited
Yeah.
about it. So I'm going to have a solo show starting June 14th,
Okay.
which is easy to remember because it's Flag Day.
There you go. It's kind of a big day here in Quincy.
It is a big day. Yeah, I love the parade and
Yeah.
everything. So it's going to be a combo of my landscape work and some of my portrait work.
Okay.
And I'm very excited to have work up. It's such a wonderful space, and I'm so proud to be an artist here in Quincy. So I'm very excited to show my work.
Landscapes of Quincy?
Some of our Quincy,
Some, okay.
yeah, and all over from wherever I travel.
Oh.
I just have to take pictures.
Are there any animal photos
There'll
involved?
be some. There'll be. I'm sure.
Yeah.
I will have to put in some of my pet pooch playoffs
Yes.
because they're just incredible.
So your three loves then, Wendy, right?
Yeah.
Animals, photography, and travel.
I know. How lucky am I?
Good for you.
Yeah.
You work here in Quincy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have right here in Quincy. I don't have a studio space
Yeah.
at this point, maybe someday.
Yeah.
But yes, and I travel around to do portrait work. I do a lot of on-location sessions
Mm-hmm.
too, not just studio work. So that really takes place anywhere my clients want to go.
All right. Anything else we should let folks know about right now?
I don't know. I think we've talked about a lot.
Again, it's the second annual Pooch Playoffs
Yes.
fundraiser for the Quincy Animal Shelter. The shelter's website, we've been putting up a phone number as well. Does that go right to you?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
If folks have questions or want to
Yeah, just give me a call
Okay.
if you're confused or can't find the website. just give me a call, and I'd be more than happy to talk to you.
All right. Good luck.
Excellent, thank
We
you.
have a great turnout again this year.
Yeah,
And
maybe
you're-
I'll be back again next year.
maybe from the new shelter this time.
Yeah, that'd be great.
All right, thanks again.
Thank you.
You are welcome. Check the forecast for you for the rest of the day. Today, kind of what you see is what you get. It's partly cloudy, windy, and temperatures only in the low 40s this afternoon. The wind will die down a little tonight with temperatures in the lower 30s, and we do it all again tomorrow. Partly sunny, windy and cold, lower 40s. Much better on Sunday. The wind dies down, temperature goes up, and even Monday, even warmer with temperatures in the low, maybe mid 50s. We're looking at possibly 60 degrees at some point next week. Yes, there's something to look forward to. Thanks again to Wendy Adams for joining us from the Pooch Playoffs fundraiser.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks to our crew. Thank you for watching. Speaking of Monday, here on the program, we'll meet the new director of Arc of the South Shore and learn about their different programs. Meantime, you can visit our website anytime, QATV.org. All of our latest programs are there. There's news, information, video on demand, live streaming, and much more for all of us here at QATV. I'm Joe Catalano. Have a great weekend. Don't forget to spring ahead this weekend.